Today's lesson will be on how to create a Google Doc or a Google document. And once you're on the G Drive or the Google Drive, you will come over here to the left-hand side where it says Create. You'll click on Create. This is where your list of different options for things to create are: document, presentation, spreadsheet, a form, drawing. Those are the main things you can create. So today we're going to click on Document. Once you click on Document, it is very similar to a Microsoft Word document. However, the neatest thing about Google Docs are they are online. So when you start working on an assignment at school or at your house, it automatically saves, and the next time you go to the computer with internet, you can easily pull up that same document. Very first thing I want to do is I want to change the title. So I'm going to click on Untitled Document, and I'm just going to type in Story, because I'm going to create a story for the students. This is an excellent tool to use for writing stories. One of the great features about this is there's a revision history underneath File, and I'll show you that in a little bit, in which you can see which kids edited different parts of the story. There's also a neat comment feature underneath Insert as well, and when you insert a comment, the students can make comments back to the person and try to figure out, get a little dialogue going on, well, why do you think that would be better, or why do you think this would work better? So it's a really neat discussion forum for the students. So to begin with, I'm just going to start to type a story. This was a story about Jack. I'm just going to do a very basic story to start with, just to show you some of the features with this. Jack loved to play football. Jack also loved to play soccer. Now clearly these are some very short, simple sentences, and what the hope of this program is to have other students give comments so that before the finished product happens, the student has a ton of different comments on ways to improve this particular story. Let's say this particular student was typing this story and realized, oh, I actually don't like that at all. So they deleted this part here, they highlighted it, they pressed backspace, they deleted it. Then instead they said, Jack loved to play soccer and football. A little bit better of a sentence, still not excellent, but it's a little bit better. And then they went up here and they wanted to change the color. So they can highlight this part if they want to. They can make it a different color, orange or whatever color they would like. It's a really fun feature to play around with to get the story to have the most pizzazz as possible. You can also insert images, and we've done some other lessons on that in which the kids go to Google Images, they save the image correctly, and they can upload the image right here. They can also use bullets or like a numbered list. Here's some bullets here, there's some numbers up here. They can decrease the indent, they can increase the indent, and then these are just the ways of aligning the document. So if they want to line it on the left side, they can do that. Center align, they can do right align, and they can even do a justify there. This increases the line spacing, so if they just click on the triangle there, it'll show them 1 space, 1.15, 1.5 spaces. So it's just a bunch of different tools there to do or to use. You can also, just like Microsoft Word, bold, italicize, underlined. They can text background. They can change the background color. So if they highlight it and then let's say they go to green. Now clearly that would not be a good choice here, but this is just to simply show you what they can do. And well, let's say they didn't like that, they can just go over here to the undo button, and when they undo it, it comes back to like this. If you notice right up in here, as I'm typing something, it saves every couple of seconds. So this is my favorite feature of all time about Google, is that it automatically saves. So it eliminates the students from saying, oh, I did it but I can't find it, or I saved it but it didn't work, or something like that. It eliminates all those silly answers or silly excuses. You can also go up to Tool, and you can do a word count. You can define. You can research about it. Here's some other excellent tools on formatting. Insert. And I'll show you the comment button in just a second. View. There's the edit buttons. And file, if you notice, there is not a file save button because Google automatically saves it for you. We can print it off when it's completely done and collaborated with other students and other teachers. And let's see, a help button. A help button, if you're completely stuck on a shortcut, hit the keyboard shortcuts. Now this would be super overwhelming to students, but if you were trying to pick up a few shortcuts here and there, you could do this and you could just realize, oh great, Control plus B is the bold, or Control plus K, insert a link. A lot of things to get yourself better at. Once the student has started to type this story, they can go over to this share button. Now let's say this particular story were to be completely finished, or what they thought was finished, they would go over here to share. Once they click on share, it is only private to that person for right now. So they have to change that. They would click on change, and then they would want to figure out if it's to South Sioux City Schools or people at South Sioux City Schools with the link. Now most likely it will be people at South Sioux City Schools with the link. They would push that, and then anyone within South Sioux City Schools can view it, which would mean they could just simply read the document and that's it. If you want that, you would select that option. If you want these students to edit the document, like if several students are working on the exact same document, you would push can edit. Now if you want just comments, in which this would be like a peer editing situation, I would think, or a peer commenting section, you can push can comment. They can only comment on the document. So you have to kind of figure out what you want this to be about. If they push can view, they cannot make changes to the student's actual document. They can only view it. So I'm just going to cancel out of here just to go back to where we were. Remember, every time you share something, you have to go to who has access. Now you can add extra people's names in here. Like if you wanted just the teacher's name, you could put the teacher's name in here. Or if you had certain partners that were going to edit this story, you could enter their email addresses right here. On their G Drive or their Google Drive, underneath shared documents, and I can show you that here, under their shared with me documents, they would have a list of different assignments that are coming to them from other creators. So they would just simply click on it, they can open it, and if you gave them viewing privileges, editing privileges, or commenting privileges, they can do that. So I'm going to go back to my story. I'm just going to get out of this for now. Next thing I'd like to show you is the show revision history. And again, that's underneath the file button. When you go on file, you're going to go to see revision history. I'm going to click on that. Now the revision history is excellent because it shows you exactly what students have done. This will show you their thought process, and maybe some kids, if you look at my timeline over here, it was pretty quick because I just sat down and started typing the story. But if I really want to see where the story started, I'd click down here. And this is just the beginning, so I didn't have anything quite started yet. I'm going to click up here, and it looks like still nothing was started. And then finally at 129, this was a story about Jack. Jack loved to play football. Jack also loved to play soccer. Okay? And then the next thing, oh, we can see that this was deleted. When you have a cross out, it was deleted. And then we can go up here, and then at 129, after a couple revisions, here's where it sat. And then 131 must have highlighted it in green. And then at 131, they took off that highlight. This is great because you can see if the students are truly peer editing. And instead of just saying my name over here, it would actually say the student's name who is doing the corrections or the editing. And if kids were to mess around and type inappropriate things for some reason, you can clearly see who did it and at what time. Also, if somebody accidentally deleted everything and you couldn't undo it, you got out of there and something happened, you can go back to a previous edition. Let's say, let's go back here, and we really like this one the best. We can click restore this revision, and it will take you back to this part of the document. So there's a lot of great safety nets in case kids are making mistakes with this. Another feature is if you have this folder. Now, when you are starting to create a bunch of assignments or documents or writing projects, you're going to want them to have them saved into correct folders. Now, I'm going to show you my folders here real quickly. underneath my drive, that's where all the documents that I've created are. I'm going to expand my list. These are all the different folders I've created. Now this particular writing assignment may not have a folder to set up to put it into yet, so I can go up here to the plus sign up here in the folder, and I can just simply make a new folder. I'll show you in another lesson on how to organize your folders. Thank you very much.